Hi, hello, this is me Sudev from Radio Olive, and I firmly believe in one thing. I believe that conversations are a great tool for learning. And me being a person who loves to learn a lot, and I'm using this opportunity to have a conversation with really, I would like to call him as a legendary personality, because when I went through his profile, I was mind blown. Like, it was so great. I was like, it is really an honor for me to have this opportunity to have a conversation with him, and he is none other than Mr. Cyril Anand, the new CEO of Starlink Qatar. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, how was the glorious introduction?
That was mind blowing, and
Thank you.
I was. Did you read the right profile, right? Or are you referring to somebody else? But
No. I read
thank you for your compliments, and I hope you read my profile and
Yeah,
not
yeah.
somebody else's profile.
No, it was yours, and now it is confirmed. Okay, with the sense of humor, I'm like, okay, fine, because maybe it's my way of thinking. I have a strange belief that great leaders have a really amazing sense of humor, and you have that. So, and you have the experience of 24 years in the telecom and ICT industry, and you have seen a lot of teams, you have built a lot of teams, and now it's a new, shall I call it as a challenge or an opportunity for you? How do you feel about this?
It's definitely a new opportunity,
Okay.
which has quite a few challenges.
Okay.
As with any opportunity, right?
Mm.
It's challenges that make an opportunity even better, I would say. So the last few years, what I was doing, of course, tried my hands at different things, evolved. But when this opportunity was bestowed on me, I kind of said, okay, this is completely something different altogether. Working in an organization which has multiple lines of businesses. We do consumer business, we do B2B business, we do retail business, we do distribution, we do e-commerce, we do contact centers, we do staff outsourcing, a plethora of things that we do. So it'll be great to, get my hands around it, get a grip of it, work with people who come from different walks of life, and I get to learn a lot in this whole process along the way. So interesting role, interesting opportunity, of course, with its share of challenges.
Beautiful. Just going a bit off course, because I just want to mention this here. Are you planning to become a radio jockey? Because you can become an amazing radio jockey. You have an amazing voice.
Thank you for the compliment of voice. God's blessings, I would say. Voice, thanks to my dad and mom for creating that. If you ask me, I'm actually an introvert. So, trying to explore a profession which needs you to be an extrovert will be me out of my skin. So, but then, thank you for the compliments on my voice.
Yeah.
Definitely helps me at least get the message across in the organization.
With that bold voice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And one thing that I would like to know about is we can see a shift in the way businesses work. The traditional way is now getting depleted, or now it's getting redundant. The new ways are actually accepted by a lot of people. If we look at the startup culture or the organizations that are coming up right now, we can see a new wave of thought processes. And how does leadership changes, and how does leadership needs to evolve in these changing times?
So one important aspect which has kind of changed the landscape in the corporate world is the Gen X to the Gen Zs to Gen Alphas that we kind of getting, right? The latest gen is a restless gen. They are not going to be hanging around. They are not going to be spending 2-3 years, 4 years, 5 years, right? Gone are those days where you work in perhaps, like in my generation, perhaps it's 2-3 organizations. In my parents' generation, it's one organization that they kind of start their career and they finish. So here you have a different type of a talent who's coming in, who are restless, who wants to grow, who wants to kind of prove themselves fast and do that. So leadership, of course, has to also evolve basis the generation that you are leading on. And what makes it even more complex is when you have multiple generations that you are having to lead, right? So leadership is about understanding that innate human attribute, right? Whether you are a 20-year-old, whether you're a 30-year-old having 10 years of experience, whether you're a 50-year-old having 20, 25 years of experience, what are those drivers that kind of keep you going? So people management becomes a critical aspect, right? The hygiene factors are your competencies, skills that you need to get a job done. But as a leader, you need to basically know whom are you leading, what are their drivers, and how do you basically accommodate them, how do you nurture them, how do you groom them, how do you create the environment for them to bloom.
Exactly.
Right? And I think your understanding of those critical drivers, those aspirations, those motivators, those accelerators for them is an important aspect. It's no longer about the salary and perks and what you do. It's about the work environment that you create for them, the growth opportunities that you create for them, the learning and development options that are available for them, the exploratory options that you create for them. So it's a plethora of these things that have to be created basis the generation that you are addressing.
Okay. So I think people's management seals the deal in this environment, right? Because whenever I talk about businesses or leaders, the two things or the two parameters that come up are people's management and technical competency. So I think from your answer, it's quite clear that the people's management part is really important. If the person, obviously they need a threshold amount of competency, otherwise there's no point in coming into business. But people's management actually is a game changer. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, absolutely. There are two people that you need to take care of, right? One is your customer and one is your employee, your talent. You take care of your employees take care of the customer, right? And that's it. The simple mantra of life, right? Our role as leaders is to take care of our assets, our employees, and the employees will do their job of taking care of our customers. And our existence as business is then guaranteed.
That's a beautiful statement, I must say. And coming to my next question, you already mentioned that becoming the CEO of Starlink is a great opportunity, which comes with a little bit of challenges, right? And Starlink is into a lot of things, and you want to get a grip on all of those things and experience a lot of things, learn a lot. So as the person who is there as a leader for them, how do you envision the future of the organization under your leadership? What are your value systems, or what are you going to bring to the table as the CEO of Starlink?
That's quite a profound question, which has multiple layers into it. So let me take a stab at it in multiple dimensions.
Okay.
So first and foremost is when an organization is operating in multiple lines of businesses, each of those businesses cater to a different customer base, operate in a different industry, have a different talent requirement, right? Let's take the example of a contact center. The average age group of a contact center is 25, right? That's the average age of an employee in a contact center. Now, they are typically 1 or 2 years of experience, fresh out of college. Then they are into a customer service role. There are different departments within a contact center they kind of operate on. And contact centers, as you know, are quite stressful. Day in, day out, every other minute you're picking up calls, you're addressing customer complaints. Some customers, and most of them, are calling because they have an issue or they want something to be fixed or they want to do it. So understanding those dynamics, intertwining them with what technology can actually drive efficiencies and effectiveness rather than having to put a human, because in today's generation, a lot of people actually don't want to speak to another human. They actually want digital channels to get things resolved, which is good. That actually helps because we can actually have much more productive ways of bringing our talent to handle bigger complex problems, because simple problems a machine can solve. So looking at each industry by itself and seeing how those industries are evolving and gearing up Starlink to adapt itself to that industry, to that workplace, creating the right environment for our talent to be able to bloom in that role and grow in that role is what my fundamental thing is. In Qatar, we have the opportunity to kind of have access to the best in technology. We have an opportunity to kind of innovate and bring in new dimensions. So Starlink is going to be, on the path of innovation, bringing in new dimensions in these industries that we operate in. Whether it's retail, what kind of a customer experience can we kind of bring in, right? And how do we make sure that our employees can facilitate that kind of a customer experience? An iPhone is an iPhone, but what makes a difference is the person who actually helps you understand the features of an iPhone and how you can unlock the power of an iPhone. Most of the times you buy a smartphone, you hardly use 8-10% of the features. 90% of the features are just lying idle. You don't know that. So how can we get our retail staff to actually help you unlock that? So different plans for different industries that we operate in.
Okay.
So leveraging technology, bringing in, innovation, excellence at workplace, and helping our employees, our talent to grow and evolve.
I will read your LinkedIn bio, okay? I really found it interesting. Building high-performance teams, retail, e-com, distribution, BPO, enabling business growth, profitability and sustainability. The thing that really stuck with me is the building high-performance teams. So, as a leader, I've already mentioned, you have met a lot of people, you have built a lot of teams, you have seen a lot of things, right? So, as a leader, your word of advice for the budding leaders or people who would like to, come into leadership roles. So what is your word of advice for them?
Word of advice is first empty yourself when you come into a leadership role. Don't come with your egos full. Because as a leader, you need to understand people. And to understand people, you have to first empty yourself. Because if you come full, you're full of yourself, then you'll not have the time to actually spend with people to understand people. It's all about understanding the landscape, the people who are operating on that landscape, the industries that you are kind of operating on. So as a leader, your first and foremost focus is understanding the talent that you have and understanding each personality, each persona, and then seeing how can you tap the best out of that person, him or her, and bring the best. And that's what a leader should actually be doing. A budding leader should, yes, what got you here won't get you there. You might have been a great individual performer, you might have been a team leader, fantastic. But then once you start leading multiple teams, it's about understanding the person behind the role and not treating the person as a role.
Okay. I think we can sum up this whole answer in one statement that goes like, you lead by the authority of your heart, not by the authority of your rank.
True.
Yeah. One last question to you. And as a person, I really admire people who have proved themselves as exceptional leaders, okay? So we all have role models. Whenever we step into leadership, not just into leadership, but whenever we step into the real world, we have some role models. Okay, this is some guy, I want to like this, I want to be like this, and this is something I would love to be. Who is your role model, or are there more than one?
I have multiple role models.
Beautiful. Same here.
Yeah. And for different dimensions that they bring in. Or Abdul Kalam is one of my role model for the simplicity and his yearning for developing the youth of the nation and empowering them through education and leading the way by his life of simplicity and how he kind of Abdul Kalam is one. Steve Jobs for how you can bounce back and how you can actually prove the world wrong, which actually discounted you. With his creativity, again, simplicity in business terms. Amir Khan for his contribution in the field of art and using movies as a medium to deliver those powerful messages which reaches to the masses. Then, of course, my own friend Prem, who is from the 96 batch, who made the great movie 96, and now May Aragon, another fantastic movie, for the art of storytelling and for showing that movies need not be fast paced and of a particular genre and have all those ingredients that a commercial movie needs to have. You can still make an offbeat movie, deliver those emotions in your own style, at your own pace. So I pick up, actually look at even my own team. Some of them are my role models because of how they go about doing it. So there is something that they inspire me to look into, saying if they are able to do it that way, that's something that I look up to, and that's an opportunity for me to learn if that's something that fits into my style of operating.
Have you told them this? Ki you are my role model, some of your team members?
I do tell them, not as a role model, but I do appreciate when they do something and they're really good at it, and they say, keep doing that. The way you do it is best in class. I think no one else does it better than you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, Mr. Cyril, it was so nice, I really had a great experience talking to you, and I would want this conversation to go on and on and on, but as they say, we have a time constraint. But it was so nice talking to you, and looking forward to meet you again and again for these kind of insightful conversations. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. It was indeed a great opportunity for me to express myself, and for those insightful questions that you asked me, which made me think in responding.
This is my job, Naswai.
And you did a great job at that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.